I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now, what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
Yeah, give me fucking truth, baby. Come on. Let's go.
How have I been this successful in life?
Fatty's gonna fatty is real. I didn't watch it, but there was some fattying that happened last week. We're back in, that way with the fatties, and literally we're here. We're back. We're another week of the MMA analysis, another banner offering from the UFC for us to break down. Sean, I'm told that these cards always have the low-key bangers on them. That's what the people are saying. Is that true?
Except when they don't, which still happens.
A lot.
Decent amount.
You know what else has low-key bangers between two bums that I can watch for free? Walmart parking lot fucking parking space squabbles. I
thought you were going to take slaps. I thought you were going to say slaps, Wes.
I'm not even going to talk about that shit.
Not worth it.
I'd watch two bums fight on a street corner before I turn that shit on. And I love violence of all kinds. I will not watch.
Just go to World Star Hip Hop if that's still a thing. Just go there and just watch videos because it's
legit. Way better.
A lot better.
Those it's not a sport if you don't give the person a chance to defend themselves.
It's not a competition.
It's not stupidest fucking thing.
Fuck a sport.
No.
It's not a competition. It's not even any sort of competition.
I did want to mention the slappy thing though, because I opened up out of habit. I still go to Best Fight Odds first. And you know how they never have the UFC card all together now, so you got to scroll down.
It's garbage.
Scrolled down, saw some slappy shit, closed that, went over to Fight Odds. So come on, what are we doing here?
I'm even cool with bare knuckle boxing. Slap the odds on there, love it. But watch that shit. It's crazy. I cannot believe. I cannot believe.
It's so weird how they tried to turn slapping masculine. Like, isn't that what chicks do?
You know when that shit was good?
Slap a man in real life and you're it's not cool.
When Kapoza would post random clips of literal massive Russians doing that shit from time to time, it was great to click on it.
Freak show shit from across the globe.
Yeah.
Like not near us.
Like give me the fucking the WAL, give me the arm wrestling. I'll watch the fucking arm wrestling before I watch that shit, You
get back on Broadway to see some arm wrestling.
Get some live bets in.
Even if at this point we'd just be betting each other, making our own lines on the fights, and we could get that whole
the money in house
with the arm wrestling league.
Fake live betting, RIP Pizza Boy, RIP Carl Weathers,
Okay, hilarious. We will get to MMA eventually. I know you're all in a rush to talk about this card, but this is somewhat MMA related. Did you see the hilarious Gina Carano shit?
Yeah.
Good.
So
it
good.
Might be the most laughable legal filing of all time. It's incredible. You gotta go. Don't read through the whole thing because it's legal shit. I didn't. I read somebody summarizing it and
highlighting things. Yeah.
That is fun.
Just snowflake mentality. They all got this snowflake mentality nowadays. They're all victims. It's funny.
They're worried about 5G wrecking their brains, man. That shit'll just Swiss cheese it real quick.
I loved somebody, I can't remember, it might have been one of my buddies, was like, they were all worried about the vaccine putting chips in them. Now they're cheering on Elon putting actual chips in motherfuckers' heads and shit. They're all like, he's a genius, And he's of course paying for her shit because he's the quote unquote free speech messiah and shit, yet he shuts down account after account after account that talks shit about him or talks shit about the right wing and shit. Free speech.
It's brutal.
He's going to be in attendance on Saturday, so we'll be lucky to see him in all his glory at UFC Vegas 86.
I hope Zuck rolls up on him.
Slaps the shit out of him.
You got the chance to do the funniest thing ever, man.
Zuck was dick tucking on Capitol Hill the other day. It was actually kind of funny. Then the whole thing came out about like his stock prices and shit, and like his board, like they're insured on so much amount of some shit, and they were talking about how his lifestyle puts his life at risk now because he does MMA training. And so I'm like, dude, like, do y'all even realize what you're saying? This man rolls on the ground doing fucking jujitsu, so his life's in danger now, and y'all gotta like insure him differently. Get the fuck.
I think it more has to do with him getting buddy with some people, and that could be ruining the stock price than actually his physical health.
It could be, you know, maybe Elon would like his Tesla stock wouldn't be so shit if he wasn't palling around with the opposite of all the people that buy his actual fucking cars. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let's talk.
We'll get to the other side of the spectrum.
Let's recap some shitty fights.
When we talk about Buffalo Chuck and how big fans we are of him. But we had a card last week. It happened. It's on my DVR. It has not been watched yet. So I'm going to be very brief. But if you guys want to say anything about the following fights, feel free. Heavyweight division, Jamal Pogos takes out Thomas Peterson. And by takes out, I mean to the distance, out for a meal, maybe a dip in the pool. Shirts on, of course. Unanimous decision there. Lightweight division, Markel Medeiros, unanimous decision over Landon Quinones. Women's flyweight, Luana Carolina.
Plus 129 pounds, not flyweight.
Whatever, it says flyweight here. But who cares? End of the third round, 8 seconds to go. The old crucifix over Julija Stinko. She's got to be gone. Featherweight, Jiang Yang Lee, unanimous decision over Blake Builder. Apparently, he looked good. Did see this one, actually. I lied. No, but I didn't see a whole minute because Temba Garimbo did the marimba all over Pete the Heat's face. 32 seconds, and that was over. Charles Johnson, I heard this one was good. So after the card, this is my recap of the card. I said, we've got a pretty decent little MMA chat in terms of the people that are in there and their knowledge. So I typed in, hey, fellas, anything to check out from the card tonight? And I hit send. And then a short time later, actual crickets jumped out of my phone. I think it might have been our buddy Sean coming back. Go check out his GoFundMe. He's kind of an asshole, but you should help him anyway because America has a broken healthcare system. Anyway, moving on. The crickets. Yeah. Nobody told me to watch anything, so I didn't. And this one was good, though, allegedly. Meatball-y, submission, armbar, 1 second left in the first round. This is Velveeta breakfast biscuits. This is her GSP turn. Remember when that happened to GSP against Matt Hughes? Yeah. Now she's going to turn it all around, become one of the greats. Anyway.
Velveeta in the same breath as GSP.
So she already had her Matt Sarah moment. Now she's got to have her Matt Hughes. They're just doing it in
reverse order,
reverse sequence here. Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep going. Those were the prelims, allegedly.
Those were the prelims.
The main card, allegedly. Charles Radke with the old KO of Gilbert Urbina. That's got to be like the biggest biggest confidence booster to a fighter ever, being like, "You're fighting an Urbina."
Mm-hmm.
It went well for this dude, and then everything else after that, allegedly, again, didn't see it. Saw the interview thing where he wanted to be paid for the interviews he has to show up to.
That was
as
gold.
part of his contract.
That he is paid to do, and that's why he gets his Venom fucking money.
That he said, "I want to be paid," and literally nobody said nothing else. Fucking room went silent. You think those poor bastards are paying you anything for an interview, buddy?
Eye poke in the next one.
11 seconds. 11 seconds. That's what we got out of this fight. Amazing.
Like, was that the strategy going on there? Just poking away, or
it was no?
Sure.
But anyway, he's a fraud. We're gonna find him out soon. Natalia Silva, unanimous decision over Viviane Rujao. Randy Brown. Yeah, knocked the dude out. Salikov, old, probably dead now. I don't know. That's elder abuse, man.
It's on death's door.
Co-main event, Renato Moicano, unanimous decision over Drew Dober. Moicano's like crazy. I don't want to say I like him. A little crazy, but sometimes entertaining. Like when he asked Dober after the fight how much he weighed, just like laughed and told him to fuck off when Dober said 180. That was good. That's fun. And Imavov, the fake Russian Frenchman, fake. He's something about him's fake. Anyway, majority decision over Doolittle.
Holy shit, bro. Yeah.
Wes, go ahead on any of your thoughts on that if you have any.
I'll just go quick. Fatty gonna fatty. My goodness. I had that 1.5 and 6 or 7 like parlays, like literally all over the place. Fuck the next fight. Carolina is a dog, 4 pounds overweight to fucking Strolianko. Holy shit. Like that was kind of dumb. I think this old Lee guy from Korea might actually be pretty fucking good. Mainly watching him fight off takedowns and shit, like just shucking off fucking Builder in that fight. Like, I think that guy might be pretty good. Garimbo's got that fucking rock horse cock fucking power now. Apparently, I don't know. You get a bed to sleep in instead of a mat on the gym floor. You must get punching power out of it. Yeah, Charles Johnson's always in fun fights, man. He just hadn't really had any go his way. He's been one of those back layers, right? He'd get into scrambles, get put on his back, and just not be able to get out. His scramblings in that fight were insane. Fun fight. Fuck Meatball, Radke's. Him and Sean Strickland should go play in traffic together. That's what they should do. They should play tag on the highway. I think Natalia Silva's good, right? Like, and one thing I noticed in this fight, she had veins popping out everywhere, bro. Like the drug testing, it's gone, and these Brazilians are gonna be fucking massive. Like HoboCop this weekend might break the fucking plumbing in the apex. Like, don't let that man. It better be a metal trough. You know what I'm saying? Like, he better be
a leak in the arteries, like that.
It's gonna be like Alien.
Not the last fight. It's gonna paint the walls. That shoots.
No, I mean,
don't
make that man bleed, because it might be like Alien, and it's like acid blood, like just burning through everything. Yeah, Randy Brown, Salikov's old. Still, I like Randy Brown, man. Like, I think I listened to some of the show. I think y'all talked about it. Like, Randy Brown is a -200 favorite is always iffy. You don't really want to mess with that. Salikov's just old, man.
Against this guy, maybe.
He looked old.
Most definitely.
Dober probably should have won that fight. Dober easily took that second round, landed like every time he landed anything clean on Moicano was hurt, was dazed every fucking time. What's he doing to third? He literally engages clinches with Moicano, gets taken down on his back for the rest of the round. Literally the beginning of the third round. If Dober wasn't a fucking idiot, not saying Moicano doesn't get a hold of him eventually and get another takedown, probably, but he still should have had 2 or 3 minutes of on the feet, landing those hays, keeping his distance. And he probably could have took that third on damage alone and big shots alone, because Moicano, he did a little more in the third, but the first round when he was on top of Dober, it was laying there most of the time. Dober was fucking hitting haze on him from the ground and shit. That was just, man, I lost my mind when Dober got taken down in the third. I know Sean was on Moicano, so I'm sure he jumped up and was like, yeah.
I wasn't. No, I had the under 2.5, so it was fucking dead. It was dead already.
Well, then you wanted Dober
earlier, but
yeah. I mean, you'd want Dober to keep that standing. I'm telling you, anytime he touched Moicano's chin, is still really fucking sketchy, like really sketchy. Outside, I think
Dober is also a pretty hard hitter at that weight class.
Against most guys at lightweight, he's gonna be okay, but not.
I mean, I don't know. I guess like Dober hit. Who was Dober's like? Who was the fight before that?
For Dober, for Vola.
Well, I guess it went for Vola. I mean, he caught for Vola. Like, I don't know. It's that one
Vola
thing.
Caught
like,
him.
Certain guys, your power looks insane against, and other durable guys, it doesn't. Moicano got anytime Dober touched him, he was like hurt bad. And I'm not saying Dober isn't like a huge puncher. Of course he is. Like, he's a massive puncher. But I guess my point is Moicano would literally probably be close to like top 5 title type contending type dude. He's got those skills. The man still can't take a punch, dog, whether it be Dober or a lot of other guys.
Like
Dober's last 7 wins, all by finish. Just so you know, he hits.
Yeah,
people,
of course.
Usually, guys are just if he's not getting them out of there, it's because he's getting taken down and smashed. It's just Moicano couldn't really do much smashing. That's really all it came down to, right?
I mean, Alves and Bobby Green, like he landed on those guys quite a bit before he landed death blows. I'm just saying, like with Moicano, every punch that Dober landed, he was fucking stunned by it, like every one of them. So I mean, it's just, yeah, Dober of course is a huge hitter. Moicano's got a shaky jaw still to me, and he's just that's gonna hold him back.
Yeah.
And Amon, dude, I don't know, dude. At one point, that guy looks like he's like so fucking good.
And when he flurries, looks awesome. And then he only does it once a fucking round.
Then he grabs him and literally wants to clinch against the cage, do the whole turn thing back and forth, waste a bunch of time, start gassing himself in the fucking third, fourth. If Delice didn't gas so hard, like Imanov was so fucking gassed in the later rounds. The thing
He's also
about
a fucking moron, and Delice could have easily taken the free money and got the fuck out of there.
He could. Props to Delice though for that though. Like that was one to where I would have had no problem even being on the other side of that fight if he said fuck this. He literally got kicked in the fucking head. Why was it like that's one where it's like not faking it, none of that. Like he took a fucking blow to the head, but
we got
props
punted.
to him. I just, man, I don't know what to think of that guy, man. Like the whole
I don't know what to think of that division.
The biggest thing in that fight for me though was the judging again. How was there no, like, Saul didn't have a 10-8 first. One of them had a 47-47 card, which was just fucking madness. I don't know where they came up with that. It's just still all over the place, man. Still all over the place.
It's brutal.
Sean?
What do you think of Lee, Sean?
Anything?
I didn't watch that fight. I still need to watch that one because I've actually heard you were pumping his tires. Some other people were as well. But yeah, I hadn't seen that one. I expected more from Maxim. I thought he would actually get takedowns. He just kind of gassed out. I don't know. Flyweight's terrible. So maybe like Natalia Silva's gonna go far, but she still gets hit a shit ton. It's just like, who's going to be fighting her that's actually going to be able to put her away?
She can be grinded too, right? She was still getting
and she can be grinded. So like she has holes. It's just Flyweight's terrible. Like I get how she has some skill. A better Viviane Araújo could have won that fight.
I think Maxim
Viviane Araújo isn't that good anymore, and she's old.
I thought Maxim looked good. I thought he had a
gassed out though, man. Like he needs that third round, man.
Yeah, I mean
not there.
don't think he gassed, of course. I just think Charles Johnson looked as good as he's looked. His scrambles and shit to get up and get and reverse and shit. He had none of that. His whole
I know,
UFC
but Maxim's a grappler against Charles
I get
Johnson,
it.
who we know is not a good
I just-
grappler, and he
it
wasn't
didn't look
able
like
to
the same
implement
guy.
that for longer than the first round.
It didn't look like the same Charles Johnson I saw. Like Charles Johnson used to get taken down, would literally just lay there like he's ready to get fucked. You know what I'm saying? Like this time he's
For the most part, he's actually just gets up and then he gets taken down again. Like, there was fights where he got taken down 15 times, but he didn't really. He just got up and then he got taken down and they got up. And got taken
I
down.
still have high hopes for. Well, I still think Maxim is decent. I want to see him some more, but you're right. He did gas a little late, but man, early in that fight, he looked insane.
He looked good.
I thought he was rolling.
You got to do that longer than 5 minutes.
Definitely.
Though.
Yep.
Especially at that weight class, because flyweights.
Oh yeah.
Don't gas. So when he gasses,
or 25 minutes.
Good.
Yeah, most don't gas over 25, much less 15.
Yeah. Dober gift wrapped that one for Moicano. Moicano did take it, but he gift wrapped it for him. That third, just absolutely brain dead fight IQ there. And yeah, I don't know. Middleweight's a fucking dumpster fire.
So bad. God, it used to be like so good. Now it's like like middleweight and 205 used to be like, you're like, these are the dudes that on in real life, 185 205 guys are the best fighters. Like just walking the earth. These are the best fighters.
In shape. Yeah.
Yep. In shape, big enough power. Now they're like, oh shit. Like all of them are so bad, man. It's insane. Sean Strickland was a champ. Like literally, Sean Strickland was a champ. That guy's okay, man. He's an okay fighter. Like, could you imagine him around Anderson's fucking time and shit? Like some of those 85ers around, man. Like
Anderson, Weidman in his peak.
Yeah, and all of Vitor, fucking Rockhold, like all of the shit they would Jacare, like the shit those dudes would have done to Strickland. Like, my God, man, where are we at in this shit?
We're those crusty old men. We're those crusty old men, Wes.
I'm pushing fucking the old 4-4 dog. Yeah, we're up there.
We're watching fighting too long. Now we think these
I
185.
think Connor 185 might be the only weight class Connor can make at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, that dude is like, there's been few guys around that weight, 55 or so, that you're like, after a couple of years, you see people like, yeah, that dude is absolutely juicing his head off. Like Connor put on so much goddamn muscle. It was like cartoonish looking. That dude's gotten so big.
That was to fix his foot though, Wesley. That wasn't. It was just.
Well, I mean,
that's true.
You can't break a leg if it's just coated in fucking steroid muscle. It will not break.
Remember when like Connor was Connor and he was like kind of a long, like he was not super long. He was never super tall for featherweight.
Yeah, he was doing all that plyo shit. Remember that? He was doing all the like the plyometrics and
he was all stretch and speed. Yeah, it was stretching and speed and angles.
Well, and now it's in the park. You know,
touch butt in the park, man.
Now he's literally walking around like the fucking Michelin man, can barely move. His fucking his joints are his bones are snapping and shit.
Hey, Wes, you know the good thing though, he's got his suitcases with him wherever he goes. He's always carrying those suitcases.
No doubt. It sucks, man, because as much as I like didn't really like the dude, prime 45 Connor is one of the best fighters we've ever seen.
Just him fighting in general is good for fighting. Like it's
when he's
whether he's the best, he's not the best fighter, obviously, but just he has big fights.
There was
and him not fighting much in the last 4 years is just terrible.
But it's still not even the same when it's this version though. Like when Connor was winning and good, man. Yeah. When he fought,
I think
it made it all.
He's
different.
He's just not in there. He's just not.
Yeah, it's never going to be. Well, he got older and then he just blew up. Like he'll never. He's not even when he was still good, he can never go back to 45. And he's always going to be his best version of a fighter at 45 down there. Like he had the power, the length, like all of that, man. He was insane at 45. But like when Connor was good and it was a Connor fight, however you felt about that dude, I mean, it was Tyson like, man. You watched to either see that dude lose or see him win. It definitely made the sport better. I don't even know if it makes it better now when he fights. Like, is it going to be that big of a deal? Like, I know it's going to be a big pay per view.
The rest of the card's going to be absolute garbage because he ain't sharing the fucking pay per view points. So it's not going to be a good card, whatever card he's on.
I don't know how much bigger he necessarily make. Of course, it's going to be bigger than the average, but I'm not sure what percentage of bigger do you get with Connor now? You know, half of what he used to do.
It used to be bigger, as in like attracting new people to the sport.
All people,
and
all
now
people.
It'll be bigger, but it's all people that have watched before. It's not anybody that's new to anything.
Yeah, when Connor used to fight, guys like Tom Brady and shit were in the front row. You know what I'm saying? Like Tom Brady and those kind of guys are not showing up for a Conor McGregor fight now. It's just, it ain't the same dude.
No.
All right. We got fights.
Yeah. Fights.
Oh, God.
Middleweight division headline again, because that's what you do. I think the kids, they call these types of events mid. So it's fitting that it would be a middleweight.
Are they even mid? Are they even
about
mid?
old
Is a
and
better
crusted.
question.
They say don't they say mid about stuff that's actually like shitty?
Bad. Yes.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
exactly.
even that.
No, it doesn't mean mid, but like
I know.
they're too scared to call things. Back in my day, we used to call things shitty if they were shitty, and now they just call them mid. All right. So we've got 14 fights. Holy shit. We're going to kick it off. Bantamweight division. Daniel Marcos. I hate him because he robbed me against Davey Grant.
Us.
All of us. I mean, it wasn't him. It's not his fault. It's terrible judges. But I still hold it against him. Anyway, he's minus 250 against Arichi Lang, which, because I hate him, is tempting to me. Sean?
I don't blame you. Trying to get your money back after us losing on
Always
Davey
chase your
Grant.
losses.
You got to do it. Marcos probably wins, but yeah, that number is inflated. Both these guys are decent hitters. I don't know if there's going to be much grappling going on in this fight. I think if I was forced to play something, I'd just throw a tiny play on maybe the under 2.5. Arichi Lang has some power. He's also been dropped a couple times. Marcos seems like he has okay power as well. So in a stand-up fight, I don't think that's a bad play, but I'll pick Marcos to get the finish.
Wesley.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking beforehand. This fight card, it just seems so trappy to me, to where I like a bunch of dogs on this card that should and will probably lose. So I'm trying to just avoid the landmines. The first fight up is one of those. I don't think Marcos should be minus 250 to almost anybody, especially a tough, durable out like Arichi Lang, who, like we mentioned about some guys, you know what you're going to get for your money here on this dude. So kind of hard to pass him up at that kind of price. So I'm probably going to take a small shot on Arichi Lang here. I thought he got a good decision last time out against Johnny Munoz Jr. Like, is Daniel Marcos any better than Johnny Munoz Jr. at this point? Like, does he do anything better, more spectacular than Johnny Munoz Jr. at this point? I don't think so. So, I mean, at this kind of price. Now, as far as total, I mean, if you like Arichi Lang here, almost me personally, I think he grinds some shit here. Can he catch Marcos? Yeah, he's got a little bit of pop and stuff. Marcos just, I don't ever remember him even being hurt. I know he's never lost. So, Arichi Lang by decision is plus 400 at one shop. That's probably going to be way better once props get released everywhere, maybe 550. I might look at that, but Arichi Lang at minus 250 or plus 250 or so, I think that's probably worth a smaller step.
Freddie Prinze Jr., I will have you know, LR, is a legend from the time when I was like, 13 to 16, that sort of range where you watch all sorts of stupid movies. So
Freddie Prinze was like one of the quote unquote sexiest dudes alive when we were like teenagers. Like, I mean, he got Sarah Michelle Gellar when we were like kids, and like she was a banger.
For those of you who don't know who Freddie Prinze Jr. is, because there's probably quite a few, go look up what he looked like, especially back then. And then you've got all these people complaining that the world is getting more gay. Okay, no. Anyway, I'm going to take a little shot on Arichi Lang here. So this card, I will have you know, there are 7 fights where I've seen both guys fight. This is one of those fights. And I'm going to try and do as much as I can with those. But there's like 0 fighters on this card that I want to bet on. But that's okay because there's a shitload of fighters on this card that I want to bet against.
That's
so
usually better.
That strategy.
Usually better angle.
We're going to go with that. And guy number 1 on that list is Daniel Marcos as a minus 250 favorite against a guy who throws a lot, keeps up good volume, and we know can go 15 hard minutes. So I think it's just going to be a competitive, probably mostly striking match. And I'll take the guy who's plus 200 in that scenario. So give me some Arichi Lang here. As Wes said, decision's probably better than money line, but he's got a little bit of pop, and Marcos gets hit a bit. But if Davey Grant's not putting you out, I don't think Arichi Lang is. So probably that decision prop is your best bet there. Featherweight division. Haider Amil. I don't know. Fernie Garcia. I do know, but he's really bad.
Sean. Fucking terrible. He's terrible. Haider Amil should win this fight just because he's not Fernie Garcia, who is very, very bad. But it's hard to back Amil. The guy doesn't fight much. Just barely ever fights, and the guys that he beat are not amazing. So he's like 30 some years old. He's a 33-year-old prospect who's 8-0 at 145. Or is this fight at 135? I can't remember. Yeah, it's 45. So I'll pick him, but I don't care.
Wes?
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same feeling. Like, is there a guy like there's got to be few guys as bad as Fernie Garcia that come out of like a major gym that get fights like this? Like, this dude's 3 losses, just a shit stain in every one of them. Out of like one of the best gyms in the country right now, currently.
And now he's moving up in weight. He's going from bantamweight to featherweight.
He was a little bitty guy.
Maybe he's on the USADA diet.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Have you looked at this man?
He was a little bitty guy, man. Where does he put the fucking weight? His balls? Or has he got like big bull testicle now? I don't know much about this Amil guy. Another dude that gets a contract off of a fucking this season's Contender Series Decision Fest where they were handing them out. Did the business in LFA though, got guys out there that he should have. Man, if I knew a little more about him, under 2-1 against Fernie Garcia almost seems like really good. Fernie's really tough. I know Amil by decision is some slight plus money if you want to look that route. I don't know enough about him. I guess he's got some decent training out there with Gil Melendez and stuff, but man, Fernie's just so bad. Amil's absolutely a pick. I just can't bring myself to lay 2-1 on him, and I'd like a little more on that decision prop.
Yeah, I don't care about this. That's good. I assume that the Amil guy is going to win. Fernie Garcia is someone I would love to bet against, but not here, I don't think. Light heavyweight division. one of Wes's favorites, Zach Pauga, taking on Bogdan Guskov. That just looks like, I don't know, Uzbekin Anthony Smith.
Yep.
That's fucking
100%. That's what he is.
That's Prometheus, dog.
You didn't know that? That's a nice pull there, Bradley.
It's fucking Prometheus.
That's why I had to pause for a while. I was going through.
Trying to get it to click.
Yeah. I got something wrong last week. It stuck with me, so I had to get this one right. But this dude's whatever mountain yams they have over in the Uzbek. Oh, buddy, this dude is on them. All of them. Sean, what do we got here?
Guskov is horrible. Is Paga much better? I guess maybe. I don't know. This is gonna be bad. If you're a degenerate and you want to bet on this fight, I would suggest over 1.5 at plus money.
Wesley.
Yeah, I was actually waiting to see what fight starts round 2 comes out as. I lean Puga just because the man's got a fucking Polynesian fucking skull, and this Guskov guy is just absolutely fucking horrible. I might just take some round 1 Puga KO plus 600. That might be my angle on here. I definitely lean more this fight probably gets a little huggy and shit and they get into the second, but man, plus 600 round 1 KO just feels a lot more better if it hits. I like Puga here though. Puga's not great, but he can box a little bit. He can take a fucking punch outside of Usman catching him late and costing me money, the prick. But this Guskov guy's really bad. So I like Puga, but I'm not betting him. I might take a small stab on that round 1 KO though.
Yeah, not a lot here, just from what you're saying, and I think I saw the Ooze fight, or maybe I'm just like pretending in my head that I saw it, and like he gassed in 30 seconds and then got subbed by the Ooze, which is that's not good. But Puga really sucks at finishing people. So I'm kind of leaning towards maybe that round 2, round 3 KO for Puga. I think you might be able to get a decent price. I know Wes likes it early. I just don't know that he has that in him because he never has, even against the bummiest bums that he's faced throughout his career. So we'll see. But yeah, over. That feels like it's not heavyweight, but it feels like a fatties. It really does. Welterweight division up next. Max Payne Griffin taking on the Bullfrog, Jeremiah Wells. Sean.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rough one. What the Bullfrog did to us last time out.
Not great.
That was a top-notch handing the fight over late one right there. I think he's better here. I think he can out-grapple Griffin. I think on the feet, he's got more power. I think Griffin's obviously I think he's the better technical striker, but I don't think he has the power that the Bullfrog has. I think Bullfrog's just going to wear Griffin out with takedowns and win a decision. I might squeeze out a play with maybe just parlayed with a huge favorite or something like that.
Wesley.
Yeah, that shit with Bullfrog last time hurt. Like that fight pretty much.
That was UFC betting in 2023.
It
right
was.
There was.
It fully encapsulated my betting year. I had so many of those to where like had the right read, a good line, a big bet on it, rolling, and finds a way to pull fucking just some of the dumbest shit imaginable. Yeah, I like the old Bullfrog here too. I think Bullfrog's pressure is gonna give Max some trouble. I think Max Griffin is good when he can stay at distance. He can use his length and stuff, and guys aren't in his face. That's not fucking Bullfrog. Bullfrog's gonna be in his shit from the beginning. Um, I'm trying to watch the line, like it's dropped about 30 cents over the past few days or so, 3 or 4 days. I'd like it in the minus 130 range. If not, I mean, it's about in straight range for me right now. If I had to, I do worry that if he doesn't get Max out of there in the first, second round, that I mean, we saw Bullfrog start to get, a little gassy and in past fights that went 15 minutes. Um, that Max Griffin round 3 is like 19-1. So that might be something that you can take to kind of shield you from that. But I think if it gets to 15 minutes, Bullfrog's probably going to get those first couple rounds. So I like him here. I think he probably gets a finish. I think he's going to be in Max Griffin shit. We've seen Max Griffin have sort of a shaky chin in the past too when guys have a little bit of pop. So I think Bullfrog gets in his shit and lands something, hurts him, and gets him out of there. And man, I hope the line gets a little bit better. But however you want to play it, I like Bullfrog straight here for sure.
Yeah, I just think this is competitive, regardless of how it plays out. If it's at distance, Bullfrog's probably going to be landing a little bit bigger. Griffin's probably going to stay a little bit busier. If they get in the clinch, I think they're both difficult to take down. They're going to swap position a whole lot. So I just see this as a close fight. Both guys, when they're not doing completely moronic shit and getting submitted in the third round of a fight that they're up 2 rounds to nothing, are pretty durable. So if I take anything here, I'm probably looking at the over. Toutmaster, probably going Griffin as the dog, just because I think it's kind of one of those 50-50 fights. Don't have a great read on it. Speaking of Toutmaster, it's been fun. It's going well. Wes is in third still.
I'm treading water.
I'm right up at the top of the underdog picks that I've gotten correct, but way down near the bottom of the favorite picks that we've gotten correct.
Well, favorites are only hitting at like 56% so far this year, though. So like, you want to be on the.
There's some chalk coming.
That I mean, look, the past like 3 years or something. If you look at like by the Toutmaster numbers, favorite numbers on that, Fave's been hitting like at almost 70% the past 3 years. Like it isn't. It's hard. Shit is getting hard. The market is starting to get bigger and better when it comes to MMA.
Think so.
Badly.
Think so. Light heavyweight division. Devin Brown Bear Clark. That was terrible. Taking on Marcin Prachnio. That did remind me, though. Shout out to our dude Dan Tom. I know he's stepping away from the social media, his podcast and stuff for a little while. So wish Dan all the best. He does awesome shit. And
you people fucking suck.
Yeah, you do.
I hate people. I like it. I hate fucking. I love Dan. I hate fucking people though. They fucking suck.
People are the worst.
They really are.
You know what? I know Dan likes MMA and knows a whole shitload more about MMA than I do, but like I did a similar thing several years back where it was just like, you know what? This isn't fun anymore. I'm gonna stop watching MMA. Honestly,
it helps, right?
Leading up into these couple of pay-per-views, it's getting there. It's testing me.
You're getting tested.
But I'm sure Dan will be back in some form or fashion because he's too good at this shit to not be and actually get paid for it. So we'll see him back. But all the best to him. And yeah, it was because he does a good impression of Devin Clark's dad. That's see, my mind connects all this stuff. Doesn't necessarily make sense to anybody else, but we get there. Sean, weird one.
Quite weird. Hindsight, Prachnio beating Khalil Roundtree in 2021. I had a bunch of money on Roundtree there. Mind blowing. The trajectories of the different careers since then. Prachnio has somehow survived in the UFC. I don't know how many more fights he's going to have, because he is not very good. I do think Devin Clark's going to be able to take him down. See what Victor Prachnio did last time to him. Get him down, ground and pound, snatch a sub if he needs to, or just pounds him out. If Clark doesn't take him down, it does get a bit sketchier on the feet. Prachnio does have decent power, and Devin Clark can be hit sometimes. So it is a bit sketchy, but I'll definitely side with Devin Clark getting the takedowns and smash him on the ground. Under 2.5 is the direction that I'm heading, because that kind of covers me both ways. I think it's like plus 120, plus 145 for under 2.5. Doesn't go plus 120. Both those very nice numbers.
Wesley.
Yeah, I mean, Prachnio should be like jailed for what he did to fucking Thick Willie and the things that happened to Thick Willie after that fight. Like he should be jailed for that shit. Yeah, I mean, like I like Devin Clark in this fight, but like minus 230. Have you watched Devin Clark fight? Like, if you watch what Devin Clark does when he gets put into a firefight sometimes and just starts saying fuck it and throwing haze. Look, Prachnio isn't good, but he's a fucking 205er. He can crack you. Like, Devin Clark can absolutely be cracked here and fucking slept. It's happened plenty of times to this dude before. I think Devin Clark eventually gets some takedown, and you know, when he does get those takedowns, like he's got some legitimate ground and pound, man. He works. He's really good on top. But I mean, I'm with Sean here, man. And under here at plus 145, man, it just seems like way off to me. I thought we would see, when I was looking up lines, it was going to be 1.5, maybe juice, but like, as far as I can remember, Prachnio fights are usually like always 1.5s, because the dude is like knocking somebody out or getting smoked. I'm all down for taking that 2.5 at plus 145. So like Devin Clark, not laying minus 200 on Devin Clark. Love the under. It's going to be a pretty sizable bet for me.
Yeah, that's gonna be all of us. I think maybe I'll look at some doesn't go, just because they both do have some round 3 finishes against them on their record. That's still plus money, but you know, the way these things go, more than likely it happens earlier in the fight. But man, 15 combined losses between the two of these dudes in their career. All of Clark's have been in the UFC. All but 2 of Prachnio's, I believe, were in the UFC. 12 of those 15 have been by finish. Like, I know we've got Devin Clark here, and you're like, oh, Devin Clark can't finish a sandwich. And he can't. But Marcin Prachnio is like one of those little hors d'oeuvre sandwiches, you know, like the little triangle. It's got the toothpick in it. It doesn't count. Even Devin Clark can finish that. All right. So we're going with the under 2.5 here, plus 145. Consensus bet of the week. Just cheering for violence between 2 guys who get violenced a lot, and it's a decent plus number. Love it. It's my kind of bet. It just makes sense. Next up, women's strawweight division. Loma Lukbumi taking on Bruna Brazil from Brazil. So keep in mind what Wes said earlier. No yams here, Sean?
I don't think it matters.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, Boomy fuck you is going to out grapple this chick or outstrike her on the feet. It is scary laying that kind of money on, you know, a mediocre women's fight, but I think minus 280 isn't that bad because Boomy Fuck You is actually pretty decent and has really tried to figure out grappling the last little bit, and she's got decent striking. So maybe if I'm a degenerate enough, I might parlay her with something.
Have you seen the abs on the Bruna Brazil?
They're pretty good.
They're good, but those aren't going to help her get taken down. I mean, Denise Gomes took her down, and Luke Boomy fucking took her down 5 times.
That's MMA math.
Nah, I know. It's scary. It's scary.
Wes, what do we got?
Yeah, I think Brazil kind of wants this more on the feet anyway, and she's gonna get her fucking shit pieced up on the feet against old Boomy. I think Boomy's actually pretty good. Like grappling's getting better, striking's like insane. Zero power, of course. Like those little square triangle sandwiches you were talking about, not even a 6-inch, like the 1-inch, not getting finished by these two. I mean, if I want to play anything here, it's going to be Boomy by decision. That's plus money. It's like plus 130 and some spots. Juicy parlay piece here for me would probably be the over. It's almost $2 cheaper, $1.50 cheaper than Boomy money line, like over 2.5 minus 215. I think that's the more juicy parlay piece in this fight for me personally. But I like Boomy decision a little bit. I might play that, but still kind of shaky. I mean, Brazil is so bad she could get taken down, and Boomy could get a sub, some stupid kind of sub. Yeah, so who knows here? But yeah, I like Boomy in this spot. It's just, man, that's a very, very big price.
Now you got me looking into how is her sub price only plus 480? What the fuck is that?
She's a grappler now, man. She subbed the last time. Subbed the chick the last time.
No, I didn't watch it. Probably not gonna watch this either. She is actually decent from when I have watched her. It's just better things to do. We got people coming over, Super Bowls this weekend. We want to a rock game. There's stuff going on.
A lot of things going on, baby.
A lot of things.
But yeah, Boomy Fuck You decision. Or I'm not betting on it, so I'm picking a women's favorite in Toutmaster, Sean. I'm serious about winning this year.
Sometimes you got to do it. It's scary.
Lightweight division, Timothy Kwamba taking on Bolaji Oki. Are we just passing? Does that do any of
There's not even lines for this. Pass. I don't even think there's lines for this fight, bro. So yeah,
hard pass.
Let's move on.
I didn't even have a clever nickname for either of them. That's how bad this one is. Welterweight division. Trevin Giles. He's a cop. I think I bet on him recently. He's a cop. So I deserve to lose that bet. I'm sure I did.
Blue lives matter, though, bro. Fuck.
Carlos Prates?
Prather?
Prates.
Is that dude still around?
Matt Prater?
Carlos Prater?
Carlos Prater.
Carlos Prater. Yeah, this is a fight. I don't know who the Prates guy is, but Sean, do you?
Not really. I mean, he's smashing everybody he fights on the regional scene. Whether those guys are good or not, nobody knows. Trevin Giles is not great. I mean, I can't give him too much shit for getting just smoked by a Bonfim brother, but going to a split decision against Preston Parsons, decision against Koski, those are much, much worse indicators. I don't really like Pratis at minus 250, but he probably wins this fight.
Minus 250, right?
Minus 250, sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Wesley.
I mean, only that kind of price when this guy beat Charles Oliveira. Like a couple years back. Jab. Like, holy shit, single jab. Took out Chucky, baby. Man, God, dude, I can't. I want to bet Giles here so bad. Like I know this dude looked pretty good on the contender series, beating a decent guy on there, finishing some okay dudes on LFA the past couple times before that. But man, I don't know, dude. These big inflated Brazilians that are fighting on this dude wasn't even on Jungle Fights. He's fighting on some shit called SFT and shit. Like he ain't even from Jungle Fights. He's one of those Brazilians. So if it wasn't for the LFA stuff, I'd definitely be on Giles here at that kind of price. But dude's got some decent wins in his past few fights. So it's just kind of scaring me off, man. But something's just telling me he's going to get that sort of UFC first time vet lesson here. Giles can grind a little bit. If Giles can get a hold of him, this dude likes to keep space and likes to strike. Giles has definitely got to get inside and get a hold of him some. But if he can do that, man, like fuck 2-1, it's kind of hard to pass up. Giles an absolute pick and tout master. I might have to be forced to bet him, but nothing as of right now.
I'm looking at this standout fighting tournament.
Is that what it is?
that he comes from. It looks like it's on whatever the Brazilian equivalent of CBS is. Or maybe CBS is going to have to sue some Brazilian company for stealing their logo. I don't know, one or the other. And the entrance fee on one of these posters in the top corner says 1 kilo, one kilogram. And if my translation is correct, pickled pickerel.
1 kilo of those. I was going to say if it's a kilo, that's like, that's 15 grand. That's 18 grand.
Mm-hmm.
Damn right. That's legit. If old Prates is beating Chucky Olives in the pickled pickerel fighting tournament, you know he's legit. All right. I got nothing here. Like Wes, I want to bet Giles as a dog this big against this dude. I don't know who he is, so it's kind of a struggle to do that. I'm trying to be disciplined, trying to be a man within myself this year. So we're gonna move on. Giles definitely in Toutmaster though. I mean, who are we kidding? That's gonna be a Toutmaster consensus. Maybe we need to get back to those for parlay all of the dogs in Toutmaster. Although I feel people are more aggressive now than they were in the past. So maybe that doesn't work. Main card. I've heard of these guys. Middleweight division. Adolfo Vieira. Armin Petrosian. Interesting. Do we still say it's a clash of styles? Is that still a thing in MMA, Sean? Because this is one of those.
I guess.
Vieira can strike better than Petrosian can grapple. That's for fucking sure, though.
Yeah, that's not saying too much.
No.
This should be an interesting fight. I think Vieira gets him down. Most people get Petrosian down.
Guilty.
A lot of the people that got him down haven't done too much with it. But I think Vieira gets him here. Probably in round 1. Vieira in like round 2 sub. If you're looking for something bigger, is like plus 750 or plus 700. If you're going for a bigger dart, maybe Petrosian somehow survives the first round, but eventually he's going to get taken down and he probably just get arm triangled. I'm not as sure exactly how I'm going to play it yet. I'll decide if I'm just going round 1 sub at plus 400 and just call it a day, or try for a bigger dart. But I think Vieira gets it done.
So, fun fact: Adolfo Vieira has 4 wins in the UFC, all by submission, as one might expect. But 3 of the 4 of those have taken place after the first round.
Maybe we get a dumb a same game
cardio
parlay with
machine.
yeah, maybe we get a same game parlay with like Vieira over 1.5 or some shit like that at a nice.
Sometimes 365 is good for stuff like
They
that.
do like the opposite of what everybody thinks, and maybe we get a nice number on that.
Because I know Wes, I'll get to you in a second. I know that
you're
like Petrosian, it's not even that he can't defend takedowns. He doesn't even think about defending takedowns. It doesn't cross his mind being like, oh yeah, I can stop this guy from doing this. Maybe I should try doing that. No. So even if Vieira is dead tired in the third round, he could still get a takedown and end up on Petrosian's back here. I don't know if it's going to get that far if he's on top of him for the rest of the fight, but that is a possibility here. So, spoiler alert, I'll be taking Vieira. Sorry, Wes.
Yeah, like I was on, but we were all on Petrosian pretty big last time, like a dog against a tall, lanky, kind of striking kickboxer that was going to stand in front of him and do a bunch of nothing. And Petrosian is very good against those kind of dudes. The same with AJ Dobson, like same shit. He got the same kind of fight. The fight before that, when he fought Barhalio, he literally got taken down with ease. Like it like Brad said, like the dude doesn't even think about defending a takedown. Vieira's taking this guy down. You're just, is Vieira going to get him out of there in the first, for one, and two, if he doesn't, is he going to gas himself so bad? Like Vieira's still pretty decent in the second round if like he's not getting resistance. You know what I'm saying? Petrosian doesn't give resistance to make guys tired. Like when Vieira was taking a lot of these other guys down, who was the dude? Was it Fluffy or Fluffy Hernandez that
making him
one
work?
time he actually gassed was when Fluffy was scrambling his ass
making
off.
Him work. Yeah, and most guys that's been Vieira's like, problem in the UFC is he's fought a bunch of dudes that aren't just laying there, that have the, just enough skill to be able to scramble and make him work on the mat. Most of them don't even get up. They just make him work and survive the round, and then he's dead in the second. I don't see that happening with Petrosian, man. Even if Vieira doesn't get him out in the first, you're going to come out in the second and he's going to get another takedown. And eventually, even like Brad said, if it gets to the third, like, is Vieira going to be so gassed out by a dude that's probably not giving him much resistance on the mat? I don't think so. And like, I looked at Vieira's sub, but like, I'm going to be shocked here if like Petrosian just lays on his back and is so safe and holds on and shit for 3 rounds. Like, no, not really. So decision's not out of the realm of possibility, but I like Vieira money line here. I'm just going to take the money line. I'm just going to stay away from the sub. That's 99% probably how he gets it done. Like Brad said, all 4 of his UFC wins have been by sub. But I'm just going to take the money line. It's close enough to even for me that I think he probably gets a takedown and gets a sub in the first round. I don't see how Petrosian's defending those kind of subs that he's going to go for from what I've seen from him.
Yeah, like you can get Vieira here minus 115, minus 120. The sub gets you a little bit of plus money, but it's like plus 160, plus 175, around there. So it's not great. I'm just gonna take some money line. Vieira, it is. The jury finds in his favor, as it were. Lightweight division, Darius Flowers, Michael Johnson. So we're good for at least one banana peel moment on this card.
Yeah, should be fun. I'm gonna be betting Flowers here. It's mostly a fade on Michael Johnson at this point in his career. He's 37 years old, has 40 fights. Last time out, getting KO by CDF. Did not like what I saw from Michael Johnson.
No.
He might have success early. He's going to be the cleaner striker. I think Darius Flowers, if he fought like he did against Jake Matthews and goes balls out, he's going to eventually catch Michael Johnson. Might get hit a bit. He doesn't have very good defense, but he has much better power, and I think he gets Michael Johnson out of there. So I'll be fading MJ.
Wesley.
Yeah, it's wild to me. I think Flowers does have like bigger, pure, like one punch power, but Michael Johnson is like way more cleaner and technical and could put a combo together at any time that would absolutely dead Flowers. But can we stop kidding ourselves and act like we don't know what's going to happen here? Michael Johnson is going to look like prime fucking Anderson Silva on Darius Flowers until he gets knocked out. That's what's going to fucking happen. Michael Johnson's hands are still insane. His hands were looking insane against CDF. I bet him against CDF. I've taken Michael Johnson. I think in his past like 4 or 5 fights, I've taken the big numbers on him.
You got a problem, man.
I want to. I can't get off the track. I am now. I'm up of it now. He's probably going to knock this dude out now. Of course, man, he's beyond gone. This dude's like what 38 now, 37, almost fucking 38 years old. Just slicked by CDF in his last one. Like that's a bad knockout, bro. That is a bad knockout. However you want to look at it, he's going to get touched here at some point. And I think he's going to get knocked out by Flowers. I like Flowers. I'm taking some dog money on him. I can't remember what the KO was. I don't think it was very, very big. What was the flop? Actually, it's plus 225 at Bet Online. I will have some of that.
There you go. I still believe, baby. Still believe. I've never been like a big Michael Johnson fan or better or anything like that. Hit him a couple times because he's fought a billion times in the UFC, but I don't know. I just see this as like a guy who is going to recklessly come forward and try and swing on him, and he's going to be faster, more technical, and he's going to land a shitload of punches, and he doesn't really have the grappling threat to blow it that way that he usually has to worry about. So I think it's quite possible that we get a nice, tidy Edson Barbosa-esque 15 minutes out of Michael Johnson here. Like, not he fights like Edson, but like he fought against Edson. You know, that was like his best performance ever.
The over 1.5 is like minus 115. Damn. If you like Michael Johnson, you kind of got to like the over a little bit, right?
Well, yeah, I was taking too long to get to it, but
my bad to steal your shot there.
There's a decision out there at plus 450 for Johnson, and Flowers seems like he gasses. I'm not sure that he's necessarily going to get finished on the feet, though. Usually, when that happens, it's guys taking him down and just getting him out of there once he's gassed, and it's just not what Johnson's going to do. So I think I'm going to take Michael Johnson. I think I might take some plus 450 decision. We'll see. Back to the middleweights, baby. All middleweights all the time. Brad Tavares taking on my man, Hobocop 8. Clarence Bodeker's coming back, baby. He's coming back, and he is going to fuck Peter Weller's shit up. This is finally when it happens. Sean, what do we got here?
I was kind of hoping to play like over 2.5 at some okay plus money in this fight, and the line just isn't there. It's a weirdly lined fight. Hobocop's minus 230 or so. I thought by decision would be decent money. It's like plus 140, I think. Plus 160? Yeah, plus 160. And then him inside is like plus 140. So like Brad Tavares for the most part is shown to be pretty tough in his career. Like I know he's got some bad KO losses, but I mean he survived 15 against Duplessis. He survived 25 against Izzy. Now, of course, that was very young Izzy, but
he survived 15 against Chris Weidman, who's about to go on a title run. So
he beat Weidman. He didn't need to survive 15.
No, he survived it. If Weidman had 10 more minutes, he would have been good there.
And a completely different leg. And
yeah, he had Brad's fucking leg, maybe.
I think Hobocop wins here. I guess we're gonna see how rough of shape Tavares' chin is. Weidman really couldn't test it out. Rodriguez probably will. This is probably gonna be a stand-up fight. Tavares has shown pretty good takedown defense and a pretty good get-up game. So I'm not sure how much success Hobocop's gonna have taking him down and keeping him down there. So this fight probably gets a little bit closer than what the odds say if this is going to be for the most part on the feet. But I got to take the man Hobocop to get Tavares out of there probably a bit later in the fight.
Wesley.
Yeah, this is a really tough fight for me, man. I lean Hobocop in this fight. I think Tavares is starting to get a little bit old. He's up to 36 now. This man's had just a ton of UFC fights at this point. Actually, looking back on Tavares's like fight career, the guys he's fought is actually pretty fucking incredible. Like he's fought the best of the best, like for most of his career. Man, I just feel like this number's a little wide, man. This is one of those dogs that I think is got a slight shot, probably loses, but has a slight shot, and the line's just a little too wide. Sean's probably right. This probably stays on the feet. Tavares has been taken down lately, does have decent get up game, but man, Hobocop on top of you is different. Like that guy doesn't let dudes back up. Like you don't get up, scramble too much on Hobocop when he decides to take a guy down. So if Hobocop goes for takedowns and gets one on Tavares, I think Tavares is in some fucking trouble. Stand up, if this is a kickboxing match for most of the fight, that makes it a whole lot closer to me. Tavares is so fucking durable, man. We've seen Hobocop be chinny at times. Tavares can still crack a little bit. So if it's a stand-up fight, it makes it a lot closer to me. I'm not sure it's that though. I'm not sure if Hobocop don't get caught with something he doesn't start grappling, and that's bad for Tavares in my opinion. So, man, I wanted to take this number on Tavares just because I think it's a little wide, but I still think Hobocop probably wins. So, man, this is probably a pass for me. Like Sean too, I looked at the over, but man, laying juice on an over in a Hobocop fight just doesn't seem like a good strategy to me. So I'm gonna sadly, I'm probably gonna have to pass on this fight. Maybe I'll find something, Saturday when I'm locking there, Friday night when I'm locking everything in. But man, great fight. This is actually, I think it's a decent fight. Even though Tavares is getting kind of old, I think it's a perfect fight for Hobocop. Good, durable dude. Should be a good fight.
Yeah, somehow the UFC took like one of the most interesting fighters on the roster and put him with the most boring guy imaginable. It still might turn out to be an interesting fight because
Tavares can get into brawls. He can get into some scraps
more now than earlier in his career.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see it. Sean, to answer your question about how much success Hobocop's going to have grappling, it's going to be, or at least wrestling, it's going to be 0. Because he's not even going to attempt it. That is not one of his prime directives. It probably should be.
I'm betting Tavares if you're making those kind of statements.
No. I'm circling around something big here, Wes. Okay. But Tavares is old. He's getting cracked. We know that if Hobocop gets cracked, that activates, the self-defense systems. Then he just goes on autopilot and just it's over. So Tavares is going to hit him early, probably rock him. Hobocop's going to wake up. He's going to drop Tavares. That's how the grappling will be initiated because Tavares is still pretty durable. Hobocop's going to hop on his back. He's going to finish a rear naked choke. Hobocop by submission is plus 1,000 in this fight. Like, yeah. I don't care that he doesn't even try to wrestle. I'm not even sure. Has Tavares ever been submitted? Maybe once.
Nope.
I don't think he's
0.
ever been submitted. Never
0.
been submitted. Don't care.
Don't care.
Hobocop is a minus over 200 favorite in this fight, and his submission prop is plus 1,000. Like, I have to. If I don't, then I'm going against all my principles ever. So gonna take some Hobocop sub here. Quarter, half unit. We'll see. I think that's at the Cambies. So maybe I can get a North Star $50, 10% profit boost
Banger.
plus 1,100
shit.
on the sub.
Bang.
These motherfuckers already cut my profit boost and shit down to $10. I ranked them. I ranked them all so hard, dude. They cut my shit. I stayed off of like Caesars for a couple weeks and shit, and they bumped my shit back up to 25 now. I was getting like 50 and 100 on some of these motherfuckers, but it's $10 now on everything.
Once you get a couple years in, everything's $10.
At least it was like, out of all the books after signups and everything, it's about $6,000 or so. I got them pretty good. Bunch of free fucking money. They give you free money.
Gotta take it. But Hobocop here, obviously. Middleweight division.
Whatever.
The Ihor against Robert Brzyczek. Are we supposed to know who this guy is?
Nope. Pronounce his team name. Vito Team Blasco Blaya. Something.
Vito Team Bielsko Biala.
There you go. Brad's got a little more of the Eastern European shit going through his
the blood.
Yeah.
Third fry from the top, and that's going to be a pass for me, dog.
It's so good.
Wes?
Oh man. Look, Octagon is not bad per se. Like, there's actually some okay talent that comes out of there every now and then. This dude's fighting guys with decent records, not the, 15-15 type Brazilian type bloated records and shit. Okay records, smoking them all. Ihor is like really, really bad. I'm not trying to lay juice on this dude. Like, if he had any sort of like LFA, UFC, one UFC fight we could have seen, it'd probably be a banger for me at minus 170 or whatever he is against Ihor. I mean, you got to pass on that without seeing anything from this dude, but him round one KO is like plus 165. If I'm feeling just a little degenerate, that might be something I throw a couple bucks on. I think he's going to smoke Ihor. If he's anything like the couple videos I've seen on him, like I said, it's Octagon, beating dudes over there, but he is smoking guys over there that look like they're completely juiced out of their brains, all of them. Those are the type of dudes I want to see somebody knocking the fuck out instead of fat blown up Brazilians that got like 25 and 36 records. Round one KO. Ihor is absolutely atrocious. This dude just moved to minus 158 at Bet Online just now. If that keeps coming down, it's just going to have to be an auto bet for me because Ihor is that fucking bad.
I get what Wes is saying, but I looked a little bit further down the record, past that string of round one knockouts, and I saw that he had a loss to Leandro Silva on his record in 2019.
That's a few years ago, but that's not good.
So for the uninitiated, Leandro Silva is the one who first showed the gaping hole in Drew Dober's guillotine defense. He had that half guard guillotine where Dober was so unconscious that he couldn't even motion to the ref, who was Leandro Silva's training partner, and just stopped the fight and claimed that Dober was unconscious or something. Very fun. Very fun. MMA is great back in the day.
Leandro Silva literally in September and November of last year beat 2 more dudes over there in Octagon. He's like fucking 38 years old. He just beat 2 more dudes over there with decent records too, like not horrible guys.
So, like, I'm just looking at his record. It's ridiculous. Last year, or not last year, October of 2022, he beat Bojan Veličković, who just won that like $1 million tournament over in
Bojangles.
Yep.
Yeah. But he lost to the Michaelides.
Yeah, fought him to decision. Dude, he's got a boxing match on
He's
it.
Fighting everybody.
He fought Joe Ward fucking in 2021.
Leandro Silva is living the life right now. But moral of the story, he's a 155er, juiced up to 170. And this dude's supposed to be a 185er, destroying all these guys. And Ihor's coming down from knocking out Shogun in his prime at 205. You gotta go Ihor here at Dog Money against some schlub that nobody's ever heard of. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm not betting it, but I don't advise anybody to do that.
No, don't bet this fight. Just do not bet this shit.
We talked about it way too long. Co-main event. Yep. These are actual fighters. This is a good fight. Dan Ige, Andre Fili, Sean.
The guys that have continuous success against Dan Ige for the most part are guys who can actually grapple, like consistently grapple over and over again. When guys can't, he's pretty damn good on the feet and is a pretty good striking game. I don't think Fili is going to have that much success grappling, and this becomes a striking fight. And I think Ige can kind of take some of the things that Nathaniel Wood did against Fili. Fili just gets hit a bit too much, and his striking accuracy is pretty low, whereas Ige's got pretty decent defense and accurate striking. He just doesn't throw very much, which is obviously a concern in fights that for the most part go to decision. But if he's not getting out grappled, I think he's going to win a decision here.
Wes?
Yeah, this fight just, man, it's such a coin flip to me. I could definitely see it playing out that way. I've bet Ige so much in the past. I've lost quite a bit of money on him actually lately. I mean, losing to, the Josh Emmett fight, guess Eloev, like Sean talked about the grappling there. His 2 wins lately are Damon Jackson and Nate Landwehr, bro. Like, it's not like Ige is fighting like any sort of superior competition. The few times he did before those, like he lost all of those fights. Bryce Mitchell fight, same thing. Now, talk about Ige being grappled. There was the threat of the grappling there. Bryce Mitchell was fucking piecing Dan Ige up. That was not a good look for Dan Ige in that fight whatsoever. Fili, he's not those dudes grappling wise. His hands are looking better though lately. Like Fili's got a little power. He's starting to use his length a little better. His striking is starting to tighten up. That was a good win last time. I don't know how much you take out of, stopping Lucas Almeida at this point. It's not like some great thing to stop that dude at this point, but he did look in great shape. I liked everything he said after that fight. Personal shit going on. He's starting to get his life together and shit, I think. And a lot of that stuff matters with dudes that are talented and shit. They got to get out of their own head sometimes. Will that shit matter here? Probably fucking not. Man, I lean Fili just because I think it's a close fight and he's a plus 160 dog to a really old dude at this point who was getting pieced up by Bryce Mitchell on the feet. That is hard for me to overlook. So I'm definitely picking Fili. I'm probably going to have a small bet on Fili. Fili probably by decision. I think it's going to be a close fight either way.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's going to be competitive. The caveat to that is that Ige definitely has more power, and Feely has a propensity to get knocked out in tremendous fashion.
Hilarious ways, yeah.
It hasn't happened in a while.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the Brito fight was pretty recent. But that's really where I see the difference. How often does that actually come into play, and how often is this just a 15-minute competitive striking match for the most part? I don't know, and that's why I'm staying away. I'm gonna lean Ige because of the power. He'll probably be a tout master pick, but it's a tough one. I hate to be passing this one because I actually know these guys. Like, not know them personally. I've watched them fight.
I know who they are.
Exactly. I know of them. Main event. Back to the middleweights, baby. We got Joe Pyfer. Barely know her. Taking on Jack Hermansson. Sean. Wes, mute your shit.
Yeah, what you
What did I
watching?
do?
Wes? What are you watching?
I didn't do anything.
Something on in the background.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
it's
listening to
my-
some-
I don't know. My mic usually doesn't pick that shit up.
Oh yeah.
I had the hockey match or the hockey game on. What is it?
there we go.
Blackhawks and
Okay,
somebody else.
That's
There
all.
you go.
Hold up.
Wild that Joey Pipes is getting a main event fight coming off a win over Abdulrazak Al Hassan in 2023, but that's where we are. He's beat and he's smashed guys that he's fought in the UFC. They've, for the most part, been fairly flawed fighters. If Hermansson wasn't coming off like a year layoff, and didn't just get smashed out after winning the first round fairly easy against Elidze, this would be an auto bet. It might still be a bet. I think the skill gap here is fairly large, but I think Hermansson's going to be in tough early. I'm not sure if he can get takedowns. I think he's going to have to do what he did against Chris Curtis, just stick and move and hopefully frustrate this guy, gas him out a bit, and then take over late. But there is a possibility in 2024 that Joey Pipes is just going to flatline Hermansson. And then maybe we'll get to fade him against someone actually decent next time out.
Jack Hermansson is actually decent. Wes.
Bad matchup. It's a tough matchup.
Yeah, I'll keep it quick. Hermansson's definitely a decent fighter. Sean's right. It's a bad matchup. Sadly, I think Joe Pyfer is going to knock him out at some point. And I can't believe that Joe Pyfer is getting a fucking main event in the UFC. And after this fight, I'm putting the seed into the ground and we're going to start watering because I think we are going to get a good spot to fade him in the future. I don't think this is the spot. Could be. It could be. Our boy might be right here. He's about to talk, but I just don't think this is the spot. So I like Pyfer by KO at some point. I'm not playing minus 200 or anything on Joe Pyfer. So I might not have a bet on a main event for maybe the first time in over a decade. Now we know it's a lie. I'll find something under or something.
We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. So Pyfer has come into the UFC, had the first Contender Series fight against Stoltzfus. And I know that ended because of a broken arm, but like the fact that dude was able to take him down, I think it was twice in that fight, like very easily, doesn't bode particularly well for his wrestling. And the fact that 2 fights earlier than that, he was subbed. I'm not sure if you guys have seen Jonathan Patty on the regional circuit from, I don't want to say back in the day because he's not that old, but he's not good. And he subbed Pyfer in the second rounds. And I know we've probably got this whole, he's a full-time MMA fighter now. And he's definitely improved from then. But Jack Hermansson is also not Jonathan Patty. I think that as a Hermansson better. I'm most concerned about the first 3 minutes of this fight. If he gets out of that, I think he wins. I think there's multiple ways for him to win. He can win like the Curtis method, and body kicks, frustrating, staying away, moving around a whole lot. It's dog shit to watch for 25 minutes. I think there's also a path for him with grappling. And the most shocking thing to me about this fight, and I guess it's because he subbed Al Hassan in round 2 of their fight, which doesn't mean anything. I could sub, like you could sub me in round 2 of a fight, and I could sub that dude. That means nothing. Somehow Jack Hermansson's sub price is twice what Pyfer's is.
Yep.
In this fight. That is fucking mind-boggling to me.
That ain't right.
So again, like with the Hobo Cop, we're gonna go at least half a unit on Hermansson sub. That's plus 800. That's pretty high. But we're also probably just going to throw a unit on him straight up. There's a couple plus 220s out there. I think that, again, that first half a round is going to be real questionable for him if he gets through that without getting knocked out. And I think he should, because like you look at the guys that he's lost to, and he's not losing to schlubs. He's losing to all top 10, top 5 kind of fighters. The lead says weird, has weird fights.
That's weird.
It doesn't count for shit. Yeah, I'm going Hermansson. I don't care about the matchup here or how bad it is. We're picking him. And that is going to cap things off for tonight. This was way too long. We'll do better next time. I'll talk less. We'll do less recap about a shitty card, especially since I think next time.
Good main card, UFC 298 pay-per-view.
Yeah. Next week. Appreciate y'all joining us. Have a good week.